So let me start by saying this. Pierre Poilievre and I are real good friends, and I reached out to Pierre when I found out he was coming to Windsor, and I said, Pierre, do me a favor. I got a lot on my mind. Let me get 2 minutes, just 2 minutes on the mic. He says, for sure, not a problem, brother. You got as much time as you want. And then I found out there was going to be 7,000 people in here, and I said, do you have somebody else that wants to talk? I mean, look at this. This here reminds me like a Super Bowl halftime show right now. Look at the people in the room. This is crazy. Unbelievable. So listen, I'm not a public speaker. I'm a union tradesman. So if I mess things up, do me a favor. Don't throw the eggs at me. We know the price of food now that the Liberals gave to us. I might throw a couple of jokes during this thing, too. If you don't catch them, just laugh. I won't know if you're laughing at the joke or laughing at me. So my name is Karl Lovett. I'm a proud union man in the city of Windsor. I'm the business manager of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 773. Yeah. Currently, we have about 1,500 people that I oversee in the city, and the number keeps growing. The workers in Windsor here have suffered under the lost Liberal decade. Here's the situation for our workers. Food prices have become unfathomable. The cost of tools, basic house wire, and everything else has gone through the roof. Rent and housing costs have doubled, if not that, they've tripled. Our streets are now dangerous for our families, not just at night, but during the day. Working women are now forced to work multiple jobs to help their families survive. The number of temporary foreign workers, that's skyrocketed also. When I'm seeing layoffs in my industry, and they keep coming, we know there's a problem. There's some billboards around the city touting about the 2,500 new automotive jobs that are coming here. But at the same time, the federal government, the federal Liberal government, are bringing in thousands of foreign workers to displace us Canadians all the time. In saying that, you know why it's so hard for our young men and women out here to find jobs? Because they're being displaced by these temporary foreign workers that we don't need in Canada. So what's caused this lost Liberal decade? They printed unbelievable amounts of money in Ottawa at the central bank. The Liberals created the inflation nightmare. The result, the rich became super rich, and the working people, they became a lot poorer. The New Yorker, he made out like a bank robber. No, I'm not talking about the New Yorker who now resides in Washington, but he's been putting a beating on the people of Windsor also. I'm talking about the New Yorker, Mark Carney, who's had his hands... Yeah. That man had his hands up the back of Justin Trudeau's shirt for a long time, wiggling his fingers and moving his lips. Mark Carney's moved one of Canada's largest companies to his home in New York, just months before he became Prime Minister. Imagine that. That's right, he's not the Prime Minister. And what kind of company was it that he moved? It was Canada's largest asset company. We all know the people holding those assets, billions in assets. They got mega rich from Canadian inflation, and Carney, he himself made hundreds of millions of dollars off the deal. Yeah. And Justin Trudeau, we know he's not smart. He's not smart at all. If he was, he wouldn't have those people around him. Mark Carney was pulling all the strings, but why? Because Mark Carney was profiting big time from inflated assets all off the back of you Canadian workers. And Carney swiftly moved his company to New York as soon as Trump became the president. 1 second, my phone's vibrating. Pierre always says don't answer the phone while I'm up here. Hello? Karl, who's this? Mark? Where are you at? I'm at a rally. Who's this? No, I don't need a bike. What are you talking about? I bet you did get a good deal. Some guy named Mark called me and he said he's down in Bermuda right now at a bike shop. I don't know. The final thing he said, I don't know if he said he got a deal or if it was a steal. Mark Carney also failed to pay $5 billion in Canadian taxes by hiding his company's assets in Bermuda above what? The bike shop. Hard to believe, eh? That information comes from Canada's NDP, or at least who's left of them, because the irony is Mark Carney's eaten all those people alive. Even the mayor of Lima has warned Canadians not to vote for Mark Carney. And why? For ripping him off. The poorest of the poor people in Peru, that's who he ripped off. Listen, there are countless other outrageous examples proving that Mark Carney doesn't give a damn about the Canadian working man. And now as Prime Minister, which he's not, Carney is promising to put carbon tax and tariff on the auto industry. It's another rip-off scheme. That's right. We're getting punched by Trump on one side of the border, and Carney plans to punch us on this side of the border also, pretending it's all about climate change. And now he's made millions off the workers' back. He wants more than money. He wants more power. He wants all of the power to do whatever he wants to do. Mark Carney cannot be trusted with this power. Mark Carney cannot be trusted to protect workers. Mark Carney's in it for himself. And when he loses this election, you can bet Mark Carney is going to leave Canada in a New York minute. But there's hope. There's hope. There's our last hope. His name is Pierre Poilievre. Pierre's the only hope for Canada workers. You see, Mark Carney fooled Justin Trudeau, and we can't let him keep fooling us Canadians. Local 773, which I represent, knows Pierre Poilievre very well, and we can proudly tell you that Pierre has our back. Pierre's been putting Canadian people to work, and Canadian workers first. Local 773 began working with Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Member of Parliament, Chris Lewis, some years ago when it became all too clear that the Liberal Party had zero interest in helping out us workers. Upon winning the leadership of the party, Pierre made Local 773 his very first priority. He came to my union hall. Pierre made the Local 773 visiting our training center, and he met all our workers. And he made a pledge to me. He's not going to turn his back on us, and I believe him. Pierre was a keynote speaker at the 105th gala I held for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers some years back. And back when he was there, he was the only politician warning everybody about the runaway spending in Ottawa. And nobody really listened to him. Nobody really got it. And after the devastating effects of inflation on our workers, look what we have right now. Over the lost Liberal decade, Trudeau and Carney invested next to nothing for workers. That's why Pierre Poilievre has promised, and if you've seen it come out today, 350,000 tradesmen he's going to train on a federal level. That's a full 10-fold increase in federal union training dollars. $1 billion over 4 years. Pierre wants to invest in us. Pierre wants to invest in Canadian workers, and Pierre wants to see the best for workers. Canada first for a change. This is why I can proudly say that the apprentices and journeymen of the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, Local 773, endorse Pierre Poilievre to be our next Prime Minister. We'll build signs for them. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to get out the vote. For our hope, for our champion, for the next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poilievre. Just to close off my speech, in honor and in brotherhood, Pierre, we have your back.